Hello and welcome. As of now, you have performed reconnaissance and find target information in order to perform and proceed the further steps for the penetration testing. So now this is the vulnerability assessment and vulnerability scanning sections and the lectures in which I will show you how do I perform vulnerability assessment and scanning in a penetration testing phase and engagement with a client with wide range of open source tools that have almost same capability in comparison with the commercial grade tool to find vulnerabilities. Well, at this time I'm talking about a decent vulnerability scanning and open source tool that is called Open Vulnerability Assessment System. In short, it is OpenVAS. OpenVAS is a great tool for finding vulnerabilities as it performs different configurations, authenticated scans, create and generate reports, and more interestingly, it can run in multiple nodes and distributed nodes to save time and work with many agents. So while you are going through the penetration testing engagement, then you can just run it on multiple nodes and save the time while you are working in a team. So well, this open source tool that is OpenVAS, you can download in your Kali Linux using this URL. Follow this URL and you can install it into your computer system and the Kali Linux box. I will skip this installation process because it will take a lot more time to install itself into your computer system in your Kali Linux box. So using these options and the instructions provided on the kalilinux.org website, you can find and install in your computer systems easily. But going through these installations, you will find many lags that it have because it also supports the Redis server. So in order to make a Redis servers running with support of this tool, you need to make some configurations and change a little more configurations in the Redis server configuration file. So just simply follow these steps and go to the etc directory and just search redis.conf and open it with your favorite text editor. At this time I have to just edit the configuration file in order to listen on a Unix socket. You can see here by default it doesn't listen on a Unix socket. It has not been supported for the Unix, so you need to make a configurations little bit. I have made a configurations, so this is the working configurations for me, and for you it will also be for you. So just go through this path and change your configuration file of the Redis server. Well, after saving this, you need to, whenever you have just completed the setup and installations, you need to check that and start the Redis server with its recently configured configuration files in this way. So just follow these steps: redis and redis.conf. After hitting this command, it will run and pick up the configuration files that you made changes and started to listen on the Unix socket. So after that, if you just want to check that it is working or not, so type the net state and you can check this with this it is working or not. So for my case it is working on this port, so it will in the listen state. And after this command you need to just make one thing. Just type this command OpenVAS check setup after the setup has been completed in your Kali Linux, and it will go through the checking all the installations and all the services and the scanners are running all perfectly or not, so that if there is any issues and any errors, it will provide the fix for that on the same shell prompt to start and working again. So in this case it seems like your OpenVAS installation is okay and it is working fine. So there is no any mistakes in the configuration files and it is working fine. Now it's time to just start your OpenVAS and just point your browser to this IP address and the port. That is the localhost IP address and the port 9392. And while at the time of installation you have got your login credentials. So for my case, it is, I have already made for my one. You can also add a user for this tool. You can add manually, and it needs at least one administration administered. Means suppose you are going to scan, so there will always need of administrator. So the first user will be the administrator in this kind. So well, I have already scanned the target that is with the name of Vul, and I have stopped at 82%. So because it takes lot more time to scan even a single target, so that's why I have already scanned. So but don't worry, I will just train you how to configure and how to start and how to analyze the reports. So in this way, you have to just click configurations and go to the targets. Okay, after going to the target, just click this star, new target. After this has been opened, just provide a name. Any name can be. You can comment it for what scan it is going, and just provide the IP address or the host that you are going to scan. In my case, it is my Metasploitable vulnerable virtual machine. So in this case, it will be, and exclude the host that you want to not scan that, because there may be working environment and the project and the working computers and the host that are really in a working environment. So it must be excluded from the target in order to stop the harassment with that host and stop working. So suppose if there is any development processes going on with some host, and you just scan that, and because it will just brute force with many packets and in order to scan and get the results. So that's why it is recommended to ask your client which IP address and which nodes and which IP host should not be scanned by this one or any tool that you are using for the vulnerability scanning. So in this case, I will just skip this one. This is the port list that you can make which ports should be scanned. In this case, I have made this all assigned port that is in the TCP, and this is the configurations files that is it will taste that this target system is running or it is live or not. So in this case it should be a scan config default, and just create a target. I have created a target with the name of Atul. Okay, when this has been completed, you need to add a task. There are a lot more features in this tool that you can use, like you can use schedule tasks that can be used later, 2 days later, or the scan will be running weekly or in a monthly basis. So there are a lot more features. You have to just explore every tabs and get what information and what the features it provides for you and what is suitable for you in going through the vulnerability scanning phase of penetration testing. So in this case, I have to just create a task. So in this case, I will just click this one star and just put the new task that what it will be going to scan. So in this case, I will just type new task, and option will be demo, and the target scan host that it is going to scan. I have already scanned this gray hat. So in this case that I recently created this one, that is Atul. Well, there is an alert that it will just tell you that any triggered, it will, if it is triggering something fishy, like if you just said that it will trigger upon 5 minutes, or it will trigger upon finding vulnerability like SQL injection or cross-site scripting or cross-site request forgery, then you can just put it here, but you need to define first. So in this case, I will just leave this and skip this one. This is the main phase of scanning. So here you have to this will be default, but scan configurations will be according to your choice. So in this case, I will just put full and fast. This will scan each and every vulnerability it will match with every vulnerability and in a fast condition. So this one is the better option to use while you are going to find a vulnerability in a short period of time. So just create a task, and it will just create a task. Now you can start scanning the targets with the host provided by you. So here you can see there is a new task, that is the demo, and this is new. This was the stopped at 82%. So just after this everything has been done, you have to just click this one play button. It will be started, and it will find many vulnerabilities that it consists, that it have in their database of the OpenVAS tool, and it will match with the target host. So as you have already seen, there is more than 80,000 vulnerabilities it contains. So there are many more chances that it will pick up more vulnerabilities and findings. So let me show you how I have just scanned this one target. This is the vulnerable virtual machine metasploitable 2. I scanned 5 minutes ago. So let's see what is the finding of this tool, and what is the finding, what you have found for me that is maybe useful. And so main motive to use this tool and find the vulnerability and perform the vulnerability assessment is to just figure out what vulnerability the target systems exists, and after that the next step will be to exploit the target with the vulnerabilities found. Let's see an example. Here you can see there is a PHP my admin code injection and XSS vulnerabilities. That is the risk rating of high. This must be configured to not perform the code injection and just sanitize the XSS vulnerability, but it have. So let's see how it can be exploited, and what is the benefit of using this tool. Well, PHP my admin is prone to a remote PHP code injection vulnerability and a cross-site scripting vulnerability. Well, how to produce this vulnerability is the main motive. So main motive behind this scanning will be just vulnerability detection method that is this tool used. Here you can just click this one, and you will be finding how to just reproduce that vulnerability and just take over that server and perform the XSS vulnerability and XSS attack once again, because this tool have only found it for you, but you have to just exploit the target with the help of XSS vulnerability. And what the vulnerability is saying all about is, you can find here every details about the PHP my admin, and this is the CVE, that is the common vulnerability and exposure, that will tell you what is the vulnerability and how it could be reproduced to exploit the target system. So in this case, clicking this one will just open up how to exploit this one. So going deeply, well, when everything has been completed, every scan has been completed, now this is the time to get and generate the report and create the report for your client. Because obviously if you are going for a penetration testing phase, it will be asked that what you have done for me and what for the company, just show me. So you can see this is the static code injection vulnerability in the setup.php file in PHP my admin. Related informations and all the things that can be done here, and find this is the confirmation page, and how it have found it, and it will show you a lot more information about it. Well, I was just talking about how to produce the result in the end of scanning and vulnerability scanning and finding. So just go to the home page. Here you can see there is a refresh results. You can refresh this one, and many things that can be done here. Just click this one that you want to generate report. So in this case, I want to generate the report of this one scan. That is already provided and found the many vulnerabilities in it. So all the details will be combined in one. It supports many export formats like PDF, CPE, CVs, HTML. So To demonstrate here, the best way to show you how it works is the HTML format, because just exporting the PDF format will take a lot more time. So in this case, I will just open it with the Firefox, and it will just show you in a constructed manner. Every vulnerability has been in one page and with the categories wise. Here you can see this is the details of the scans. There is a 13 high level of vulnerabilities and a medium level of 32 of vulnerabilities found, and low level of 4. There are 76 logs as well. So by this method, you can by using this tool, you can find the vulnerabilities and use this tool to figure out what vulnerabilities exist in the target system and what the misconfigured services and many exploitations that can be done after the vulnerability has been found. So you can see there is a risk rating of high that can be used to exploit the target. Well, I will just reconstruct all the vulnerabilities and find and just exploit this one in the exploitation section. So for you, this is the recommendation that you just install it in your computer system and use this on your own pace to find and figure out how this tool is running and what is useful for you while you are going through a penetration testing and using a vulnerability scanning phase. Thank you.